Alrighty, welcome back to Let's Play Xenogears. The finale, question mark? I guess we'll see what happens. Normally when we get to the end of a game, we kind of just say, alright, we're playing it till it's done. But we still have New Threat to play today, so there's New Threat still going on. So we got 4 hours, we'll see what we can do. What a ride it's been though, man. What an absolute ride it has been. We've been playing for, what, 63 hours? 64 hours now? Feels like so much longer than that. Feels like we've been playing this game for 2 years. Part of that, I guess, is because we played it for a little bit a long time ago. So it's kind of been in the back of our heads this whole time. But, I don't know, man. This game is just such a journey. It just feels like it never ends. Everything is so impactful and meaningful that the 64 hours really feels like so much more. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save over my old file. And we're gonna keep that save there so that after we're done, we can come back and do any goofy stuff we want to do. Like check out the death blows or see if there's anything else on the map. But I think we're just gonna get it. I'm ready. Epic song as we fly. The end of our journey. Thank you, Yet. That song is so good. Wow, we just kind of plopped on here. This kind of gives me Legend of Legaia vibes. Legend of Legaia has a very similar final dungeon. What? Oh, did I just leave? Okay, that's nice to know that you can leave. Legend of Legaia has a very similar dungeon where it's like this giant amalgamation of flesh that like takes over a city. Yeah, I was gonna say, I've really fallen in love with the soundtrack of this game. When we played it a million years ago for that fan day, I liked the music, but it didn't capture me as much as it has now. Especially like this song. After all the moments we've been through with this song playing. The mapping of the inside of Deus is now complete. Okay, let's go, everyone. You wanna maybe give me the map then? That would be nice. I'll take a map. So why are there... I was gonna ask, why are there gears in here? But honestly, I think trying to explain anything about this area would be like a futile endeavor. We're kind of in the crazy zone at this point. Also, I see an Omni chair. Let's get him in here. He's got to be here for the finale. Gotta be here for the finale. Special guest, a box of goldfish. Mickey Mouse goldfish. How's it going, Bryce? Okay. I love how the the platforming mechanics allow them to make these like really crazy, intricate looking areas, you know? All these jutting out obstacles and stuff, because you can actually jump in this game in platform, unlike most RPGs. I am kind of worried that since we hit the world map, there's going to be like a steep difficulty curve here. But I'm hoping there isn't, because there really wasn't any good spots to grind on the world map. Like, there's no, like, new area. We would have to just sit and fight the same crap we've fought a million times. So, I would not be a fan of that if they were, like, expecting us to grind on the world map a bit before entering in here. Like, at this point, just finish the game. Like, I don't see any reason to, like, make us get even stronger. Unless they're gonna have some, like, you know, side stuff, like Chrono Trigger-esque, where there's a huge difficulty curve at the very end of the game, but it's because there's, like, 19 different side quests you can do that all relate to each individual character. And they expect you to do at least a couple of them. Got the sound effects. Sound effects on point. Wow, this is just like a super maze. Fuel leak. Can you not? I wonder how I fix that. Or if it just fixes at the end. Yo, D-Pal, thank you very much for the Prime. Thank you. Whoa. LiDAR +3, I might actually be able to use that. Sure. Why not? How's it going, Dan? I have zero idea where I'm going. Magic space. Ah, stop. What is it with these guys and fuel damage? Put me in a giant maze where I have no idea where I'm going, and then put in a bunch of enemies that steal my fuel. Let's see how it is. Well. Appreciate you being here, Homer. It's good to have you here. Cow. We can actually hit with our X attacks. Do so much damage. Okay, is that the same laser beam from before? No. Let's go this way. I might have to just hug the right wall until I find the exit, because this is a maze. I think the counter rate of the whole game has been pretty brutal, but that's pretty common for these older RPGs. I mean, I think at this point, I was starting to play RPGs that had less of an encounter rate. Final Fantasy VII being one of them. But, yeah, some of these older RPGs kind of just have terrible encounter rates in general. Dan, thank you for the Prime. 32 months, thank you. I mean, at least they're not as bad as some of the NES RPGs. But what the? How about some magic? Oh yeah. Mirror AR. Yo, thank you, X. Appreciate it, man. Beam damage down. I'll give that to you. Sword Sarah. No! How could it? Holy damage. It's got a ether armor, I think. These things are dropping like insane stuff. Ether R +3. Plus 200 ether defense. Thing is, I don't want to unequip anything. Everything's so important. I mean, this might be smart, though. Have a more well-balanced diet. God, this encounter rate is insane. It's too quiet. Yeah, I could have used encounter down item. Dang. All the big damage. This is around the time where, like, games were starting to get encounter down items, but it was kind of a crapshoot as to whether or not you got one. I feel like a door on this wall. No. Guess we're kind of just putzing around until we figure out where we're going. Everything looks the same. You just heal. Man, Emeralda's actually huge. Yeah, I'm getting like 3 different types of enemies. They all kind of do the same thing, but... I'm already getting the vibe that they put a bit more work into this dungeon. Although honestly, I was surprised, like, last week there wasn't as much skipping over stuff. Like, they put quite a bit of time into most of the stuff we saw last week. It was really just the beginning of Disc 2 that was really awful. Like, you could truly tell that they just... Oh, great, we're back at the start. You could truly tell that they had no time to do anything they wanted to do at the start. Like, that was... The decision was made that something had to be skipped. And obviously they went with the stuff at the start of Disc 2. Someone asked me yesterday, how long would Xenogears be if they actually finished everything? And I think, like, if they had done the scenes that they wanted to at the beginning of Disc 2, the game would probably be like 80 plus hours, which is pretty insane for PS1 RPG. That's 2 discs, not 3. And I don't know how long this game was in development, but I don't think it was an insanely long amount of time, right? Because it was originally being developed as Final Fantasy VII, which means it wasn't being developed until at least 6 was out. Because I don't think... With Final Fantasy VII, they didn't know right away they were making it. So I don't think it was being made while 6 was being made. Because 6 was going to be the last one at one point. So yeah, I'm thinking like at the most 2 years. Now, I think if they had made everything they wanted to make, like if they said, all right, we're going to give you infinite amount of money, an infinite amount of time, just make everything you want to make, I think this game would be like 200 hours. Like, this would be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But in PS1 era. Because you could even tell some of the stuff that they quote-unquote finished. Like, they had more ideas for it, you know? Like, I think the robot battle arena, they would have made that an entire separate 30-hour experience if they had the time to. It seems like they wanted to do even more with that. Yeah, I'm not sure, I'm not sure there is a more prolific time for game development than like Square Enix in their prime. Squaresoft in their prime, I suppose. Even like the start of Square Enix too was like a crazy time, but Squaresoft in their prime of like early PS1 was insane. I think like the only time period I could think of that maybe is even more insane was like the early SNES, late NES era for Nintendo. They were just banging out crazy insane games like every few months. But yeah, if you asked like what was the greatest generation of like any game developer, I would say like either early Nintendo or PS1 era Squaresoft. They just could not make a bad game. And they had multiple teams making huge games. And like all actually finishing their projects and all becoming great games and all being successful games. Yeah, it's pretty hard to compete with Nintendo, like late NES era. They made Mario 3 and then immediately made Mario World on SNES. And then just like a huge host of other things like Super Metroid, and like they were just every game they made was like gold. I think like the only game I can point at that was like ambitious but not really, didn't really hit the mark was like Zelda 2. But then they made Link to the Past, so. Yo, robots, thank you so much. Yeah, we should do like a tier list of like every company in their best era. How good were they? Oh, Zelda 2 definitely has its fans, but you know, if I had to pick one game of that era that was not as popular. Although I think Zelda 2 actually was really popular when it came out, it's just kind of over time it became not as popular. Doesn't have the same legacy. Yeah, man. Mario 3, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Link to the Past, Kirby was killing it too. And all those games came out so close to each other. I forget when Link to the Past came out, but the early SNES days were insane. And unfortunately, I missed that whole thing. But I've played some of it since then, and I can truly realize how great that era was. And then, I mean, like, if we're including everything, because we're talking about just one developer, but if we're including everything, that era was also insane with, like, Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, two of the greatest RPGs ever made. But just talking Nintendo themselves, they made so much crazy stuff. We were talking a couple days ago about, like, not talking developers, but just all games overall. What would be, like, the best era? And, I think we settled on early PS2. Was like the greatest era for gaming. But early SNES times is definitely up there as well. Was it early PS2 that I can't remember. I think it was. Early PS2 that we settled on. I mean, early PS1 era was nuts too. You had like Squaresoft in their prime, and then Nintendo was making like Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time. And freaking Smash. Which a lot of people look back on original Smash Bros. Now and they're like, wow, this game sucked, but it's hard to put into words how amazing OG Smash was when it came out. You could see nothing like it. That commercial of the Nintendo mascots like fighting each other, like the greatest thing ever. Dude, Mario just punched Yoshi in the face. What is happening? That was like the Marvel universe of our childhoods. Wait, these characters are in the same game? Yeah, we had a debate a little while ago about whether or not Ocarina of Time is overrated. And I don't think a lot of my chat lived by the end of that. I think we lost a couple boys in that debate. R.I.P. Those poor souls. Casualties of war. It's an interesting discussion, though. Because I do think that, like, there's certain aspects of Ocarina of Time that you kind of had to be there, kind of thing. And so, when you put it up with a game like Mario 3 or something, it doesn't hold up as well. Because Mario 3 could genuinely come out today, and people would love it. And that's just, it's not even as much of a thumbs up to Mario 3 as it is just platformers in general just age better than 3D games. But oh, don't get me wrong, it's not like you can't play Ocarina of Time today and still enjoy it, but there's a difference between, you know, having to kind of place yourself in the game at its time period and respecting it versus, like, just playing Mario 3. It still looks and feels great. You're not gonna play Breath of the Wild, you know, like, I'm not gonna go up to my friend who the only video game they've played in the past 15 years is Breath of the Wild and hand them Ocarina of Time, and they're gonna, like, immediately think it's one of the greatest games ever made, you know. It's gonna take some work to get them there, you know? So it's just interesting to think about. I mean, if you grew up with Ocarina of Time, or you grew up in that era, and then you play Ocarina of Time, you can tell. You can tell it was different. Even something as simple as, like, Z targeting still feels great. Like, still feels like, wow, I could think of modern games that could maybe use this, you know? Give me Z targeting in Elden Ring. I'm not trying to pick on Ocarina of Time, because I think all games are like that, you know? Like, everyone will talk about how great Elden Ring is until Elden Ring 2 comes out, and then there's a good chance that Elden Ring 2 is just better. You know, like, there's always going to be the progression of games. But that, specifically that era of, like, N64 had kind of a different vibe. And the reason we brought it up was because whenever you ask what's the greatest game of all time, Ocarina of Time is very often the most, the highest one, like the one that's said the most. And so, saying that it's overrated isn't a huge overstatement, because, like, it's very high rated. You know, like, it's usually the one that everyone says. Ether. Oh, I had 3. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just an interesting discussion, because a lot of people would say it's not the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time, but it's not the greatest of all time. But that's usually what comes up a lot. People say it is the greatest of all time. But I'm curious, like, what the argument is. Why is it the greatest of all time? Why does it make that extra step from one of the greatest of all time to, no, it is the greatest of all time? Because what I normally hear is, like, it was the first game to be a true adventure. A true 3D, you can explore it, and feel like you're in it kind of adventure. But if that's the case, then that's more of a nostalgia thing. Because I'm not going to make that argument to my friend that's only played Breath of the Wild. Like, you know what I mean? If I show him Ocarina of Time and I say, this is the greatest game of all time because it's an adventure, he's going to be like, but Breath of the Wild is a better adventure. You know? So it's not really an argument that, like, stands the test of time. I guess maybe, like, where the question's kind of going is, like, if we're gonna name a greatest game of all time, does nostalgia matter? Because if it's the greatest of all time, it needs to be great to everyone that plays it, not just the people that played it when they were a kid and say it's the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? Like, saying what is the greatest game of all time is a hard question. Because if it is truly the greatest of all time, then it can't only be respected by those that played it when they played it. Right? That doesn't seem right. But maybe, I mean, when you talk about athletes being the greatest of all time, you kind of do have to take into consideration how good they were for the competition that was around. Because in general, sports athletes get better over time. So when you compare them, you can't necessarily compare, you know, just stats. Because in general, humans get better at doing things over time. Big Bang! I learned the Big Bang. Big Bang Theory. Attack enemy stop effects. So maybe we have to do the same with games. Maybe, you know, if Ocarina of Time was the greatest game when it came out, maybe we have to take that into consideration when we compare it to games now. Yo, gaming, thank you for the 28. So I guess if that's the question, you know, it really depends on how you phrase the question. Oh my god, I found a save point. But there's nothing else here, just a save point. The world's loneliest save point. I'm trying to make sure there's no, like, door in the wall, but I don't see one. So maybe this is the path? Yes. Thank God, holy cow. What in the... Can't turn the camera anymore. Should I jump on those, or should I just jump down? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is this? Am I playing Star Fox? Do a barrel roll. We're 60 hours in and they're still throwing in new gameplay mechanics. They can't help themselves. What in the... You want to go down? Sure. You want to get down? More ghosts. Well, angels. Ghost angels. Okay, last time I did this, I healed them, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. It happened again. Do not use ether on these guys. He just... It's not going well. Dang, that thing will not die. Stop picking on Emeralda. I kind of want to try Big Bang, but I don't think it's going to work on these guys. They don't take ether damage. I wonder if I should equip more angel ARs. I mean, that would only make sense. I'm fighting a bunch of angels. They don't really do angel damage. God, now what? Excellent. What is that? Power Seraph? I don't think it's gonna work, but... Oh. Let's try Big Bang. This is Supernova. Faye, where did you learn to do this? Where did you learn to do that, Faye? Holy cow. By the way, guys, I just got the power to blow up planets. Oh my god, they're so strong. We got a problem. I need to, like, find some fuel or something. Oh, why? These enemies are like bosses. At least get a lot of XP from that. 50,000. And I got an Angel ARS. Angel AR Super. Oh. It gives you more ether defense. Interesting. I do like how, like, dark and creepy and quiet this dungeon is. Those angel goblins. Fire Seraph. This is an angel attack. I got defense against this. Alright, it still did 5,000 damage. What the... We got a code red in this area. These enemies are not screwing around. I'm gonna run out of fuel very quickly. Do you think there's a fuel bot in here somewhere? I'm not sure why there would be one, but I've seen them in crazier places. How's it going, Retro? And just in time. Wait, did you just, like, do that for free? What a bro. He's like, yeah, it's the final dungeon, it's fine. Just... Is that all that was here? No shot. I had to go all the way down a whole side area just to get that heal. There's nothing else here. Yeah, it's just a random dead end. I am very lucky to have found that.